Hey guys, Metal Jesus here, and I'm back again with Radical Reggie.
How's it going, everyone?
And we have Susie the dog. She is
ready for some pickups.
She's ready for some pickups.
That's what she's ready for.
Let's take a look. All right, buddy, who goes first? Should we have Susie go?
Yeah, let's have Susie go first. Susie, what do you got for us?
What do you got? She's got a sneeze. That's what she has.
That's what she got. Okay, her turn's over now. I'll go next, and I'll be showing off this. This is talking head-to-head talking football and talking baseball from back in the day. These are.
Do they actually talk?
They do talk. They tell you like how many, like the football one tells you like what yardage and everything, passes. I think it was kind of like ahead of its time in a way, with at least with the voices.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure.
I got that in Christmas of '88. I remember my mom and dad got me that, and I was like, I didn't even like football, but I loved that game, and it kind of got me into football. So
it's funny you mentioned that, because did you ever see the Mattel? They were like the '70s one with like the red LEDs.
Yes. Yeah. Yep. It's exactly what you're talking about.
Again, I don't really care about football, but I played that to death.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, there's something about it.
Yeah.
So, and then talking baseball is another one. I like this one a lot too, but I'm more of a football guy. But definitely these machines are actually pretty cool. I got these at the a video game con in New Jersey.
Oh, you did?
And, yeah, I was like, man, these are awesome. I'd never seen them in box before, at least until like years ago.
Yeah,
that one in box. So
this is a part of video game history. I mean, people forget that this is what we had. This is what we loved back in the day. You know,
that was our portable gaming.
I know. Wow, that's cool, man. Well, speaking of portable gaming, I recently found and picked up something at a surprise at a GameStop, and I've been looking for it forever.
GameStop, okay.
And that is the Blue Vita. Yes. Man. And so, does that? Oh, it does have power. There you go. So,
there you go. Got
there's the music.
Mellow music in it.
So this was, I believe, a GameStop exclusive.
It is. Yep, it was.
And it's such a cool-looking Vita, and I've always wanted one. I always kick myself for not buying it when it first came out.
Here's a sad thing. I used to have the box for it, and I recently just gave it away to my buddy Tim.
Oh.
I could have gave you the box for it. You could have had it complete. Man, but still cool that you got one, man. I always wanted to get one of those, but I could never find it, so I just settled with the regular slim black model, which is totally fine. But yeah, that's awesome looking, man. I love the Vita, man.
Yes.
It's just... Dude, I'm glad so many developers helped keep it alive when everybody thought it was down and out,
Well, Sony nailed it, right? They took all the lessons that they learned on the PSP and they poured it into the Vita. So if you are somebody who hasn't actually tried a Vita, by all means, give it a shot, because it is an amazing handheld. It's fantastic. It stands the test of time. And now what I'm doing, because it's kind of like the end of the life cycle for it, I wanted a blue one. I also, the last one I don't want all of the colors, but that deep red one that they put out.
Oh, I think that's another GameStop exclusive too, wasn't it?
It's, I don't know. You can see it online, but it's beautiful. And so I'm going to go for that. I don't need, like I said, I don't need every color. I don't need every Vita, but, those are the ones I have to get. So this is cool.
Very cool, man. Yep. All right. So... This is me. I really enjoyed the Shantae series, and recently they announced Shantae Half Genie Hero Ultimate Edition, which is expansion with all the DLC.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah, okay. But it only came out for Switch in America, and at the time I had most of the Shantae games on my PlayStation, so I went and looked outside the box and found out they made a PAL version, the same version of PAL territory. So that's the game right there. All DLC embedded on the disc, besides some free they added later too via a patch, but. That I just wanted to have that one, so now I have like at least 3 Shantae games on the PS4, so I can play them on one system, which is nice. Not saying there's anything wrong with having the Switch version, but I just kind of wanted to have it uniform in a way. So definitely something cool to have.
Yeah, it comes with the looks like an art book and CD soundtrack. That's cool.
Yeah, out of this version, which was funny though, they took the first version of that game not the Ultimate, just came with a manual out of it. So I just took the manual and put it in this one. So they took the manual out of this one. So I kind of still have that manual, kind of make it even more complete in a way. But yeah, if you like Shantae, it's a great platform game by Way Forward. I mean, we played them before.
Oh yeah.
I mean, seriously, a really good game.
Yeah, they do good stuff. All right, next up for me, another platforming game. All this one is in 3D. Sphinx and the Cursed Mummy. So this is on Switch. This was a total surprise.
Yeah, I'm surprised right now.
I know.
I remember that game back in the day.
Yeah, so this was, I mean, I know the term hidden gem is overused, but a lot of people consider this original game to be a total hidden gem back on the PS2. I think it was on the Xbox.
PS2, GameCube, Xbox.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it is. It's still really fun today. I mean, it definitely looks a little dated on the Switch, and it definitely feels a little bit...
So it's the same version, they just like updated a little bit, fixed the texture? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. So it runs in HD, but it definitely feels very much like that original game, at least is what I remember.
Right.
I haven't played it too much because I just got it because it just came out, but it was one of those games where I'm like... who? Like, what were they thinking? Like, this is so random, right?
Right.
But you know what? A good game is a good game, and why not put it on a Switch? It's cool.
Well, back in the sixth generation, a lot of developers were able to like make games freely without being pressured by corporate people. Like, get this game out and all that. So they were able to have a lot of creative ideas.
Yep.
So it's actually a good idea that they brought that game that didn't get a lot of recognition up and put it on the Switch.
There are a ton of games that they could put out from that generation that would still be fun today. Yep. Just HDify them. I make that sound easy, but move the magic wand and HDify it. But I mean, there's a lot of games where they're still really fun today, and if they would bring them out on Switch or whatever, I mean, I prefer the Switch because again, it's portable. I can play it anywhere, anytime. So that's why I bought this. So, yeah, pretty cool.
Man, I think I'm jumping on the Switch hype train, man. I'm feeling it.
I love the Switch, dude. I know. It's one of my favorite systems to collect for because, again, I know that I can play it everywhere. It's awesome.
I got this one recently, and I got this, if you see the price here for it, I got this...
$18.
Yes, this is Soul Calibur Premium Edition, pretty much a collector's edition. I used to own this game years ago, but I don't know what happened to it, so I found it for this cheap price, and I decided to pick it up. It has everything in it. It has the shirt that comes with it, the art book, the comic book. I think it was a comic book.
It's heavy.
Yeah, I know, right? That's heavy. And I was like, man, I just had to pick it up. For 18 bucks, I had to get it, so... Soul Calibur 4 is probably my second favorite game in the Soul Calibur series, so definitely wanted to have the collector's edition for it. I know Soul Calibur, I would say it's probably my favorite 3D fighting game out of all of them. I mean, it's so much fun.
Yeah, it is. I mean weapons, right?
And weapons and everything, and it just it feels like you're doing damage even if you don't know how to play the game. You could do something cool and make yourself feel good. So
that's me right there.
So yeah, good old Soul Calibur. This was the first one that added like Star Wars characters in it because they always have guest characters. This has Darth Vader, Yoda.
Oh yeah,
DLC, and the Apprentice who was introduced in the Force.
Yeah.
Yep. He's
cool.
in the game too.
Oh, is he really?
Even though he's broken, and that means like he's just way too powerful.
Oh, is he?
Oh yeah. But yeah, really good game, man.
Wow, that's a cool edition of it.
If you guys want to know what my favorite Soul Calibur is, it's actually Soul Calibur 3. I feel like that one had a lot of work went into that one, so really.
And that's good. On the previous. That's PS2.
Yep, it's on PS2. Yeah.
Okay. Huh. Wow, that's cool. All right, next up for me, got an amazing donation from an awesome fan, and I mean, and I'm talking about it was a box full of amazing games, and so I can't cover them all, but I want to give a huge shout out to William. Thank you very much. And in that box was just a bunch of games I didn't own. He didn't know what I have, but he just nailed it. Like there's so many games that just fill little holes in my collection.
Wow, dude!
I know.
So excited to see this.
I know. So I'm going to talk about. So a lot of the stuff I'm going to show today is from that box, but I'm also sharing like that's some of the stuff that I was offering to you as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So really cool stuff. So anyways. The first batch I'm going to show here, and I don't know much about these. So these are the modified versions of the original game. So we have Mario Kart R, and then we have Super Mario World Return to Dinosaur Land.
Woo! I played that one before. That one's
Did you?
It's tough.
Yeah, and then what's that one right there?
Oh no, more Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I think this is a harder version of Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah,
or easier version. I can't remember. I think it's harder though.
That's what a lot of these often are like ROM hacks, basically put into physical form, and then looks like that they were sold here at SuperRetroBros.com. At least that's probably where he got them.
Oh, okay.
But I get the feeling he was kind of like downsizing his collection,
right?
And kind of wanted him to,
which is healthy to do, folks.
Yeah, we were just talking about that actually. But anyway, so really cool additions. These were some that I didn't know about, wasn't aware of, and I actually was able to play them a little bit and capture the footage, and yeah, they run fine. They're cool. Great labels too, right?
Yeah, definitely. All right.
So thank you so much.
Awesome. Let's see. I got this game via a trade to my buddy Evan, who I met at the Game On X. Well, not Game On XO. It was the video game con in New Jersey.
Oh.
And we're big Game Boy collectors. Like, we love the Game Boy.
Yeah, you love that.
We're enthusiasts about that. And we traded for this game. This is Pinky and the Brain Master Plan for the Game Boy Advance. It only came out in PAL territories. And this is a really good platform game. Total hidden gem for the Game Boy Advance. If you like Pinky and the Brain, I mean,
oh yeah,
I mean they were pretty funny back in the day.
Yeah, they were hilarious.
I mean, golly, I mean, that's the only reason I watched Animaniacs, because of Pinky and the Brain had their little skit on there. But the game is really solid, very good game, guys. Definitely check it out if you have the opportunity to get it. I just love adding a new Game Boy Advance game to my collection I didn't know about. And I somewhat knew about this and I kind of forgot about it, but Evan kind of like, "Hey, Reggie, remember this, man?" Yeah, I got this. So
that's cool.
Good trade. I'm happy. Evan, if you're watching, thanks a lot, buddy. I appreciate you, man.
Very cool. All right, next up for me, random blind buy for the Switch. That is the Raven Remastered. So this is an adventure game.
Okay.
And I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I didn't really know much about this before, but I believe it's an older game that's been kind of remastered for the Switch. It's a 3D adventure game where you play as I believe he's a French detective. So it very much has that kind of like Sherlock Holmes kind of vibe to it.
That mustache, man, it's like
yeah, I know, it's epic.
Oh my gosh!
And this is old school adventure games, like literally like talking to people. It starts off on a train, almost like Murder on the Orient Express, and you're gathering items and trying to solve puzzles. Again, a weird release on the Switch. This is what I love about the Switch, is that this sort of stuff is coming out. Like, I mean, I'm sure it's also out on every other system as well, but again, when I see it on Switch, I'm like...
But it seems like when they put it on the Switch, and since the Switch is more of like a newer system, like people are looking more at it. So.
And also, too, when it comes to adventure games, I like, again, the Switch because it's got the touch screen. And so it's very natural to play these kind of games that way, a little bit slower, manipulating items and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's actually a really cool game. It's hard, though. I'm not very good at adventure games, so I get stuck really easily. But, yeah... kind of a random
adventure games can kind of make you frustrated because like the pacing, like you want to go talk to somebody but you have to figure out this and figure out what they want.
Or sometimes you have to like exactly, like you've exhausted the conversation with one person and then you go to talk to somebody else and now there's new conversation with that other person, but you don't know it.
You don't know
that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
all right, man, cool.
Yeah.
This was sent to me by my buddy Rusty. I was looking for Fist of the North Star Part 2.
Cool.
Ken's Rage. The first game came out in America on the PS3 and Xbox 360. The second game came out on 360 as a physical, but on PS3 it came out as digital only in America. So I was like, what the heck? So I found out about the PAL release, and Rusty ended up sending me a copy of this because he knew I was looking for this. And these are pretty much like Dynasty Warriors type beat 'em up games based off the series, but they're really well done. A lot of fun. You beat people up and you look good doing it. That's what you want in a video game.
Isn't this the game where like his fist like just like,
yes,
it's like a blur?
This is the original. Like this is the original series that kind of like I would say inspired stuff like Dragon Ball and all that stuff. So this is where it's at. I mean, I think they celebrated almost like 30 years a few years ago, 30-year anniversary pretty much. And the game actually takes place starts the second arc of the Fist of the North Star series with the I know if you guys know about it, it's like after Raoh and everything, so some of you guys that watch the series know what I'm talking about, but definitely a solid game. I do like the first one a little bit better because of when you do your special moves, it would like show 3 different camera angles of after you doing the move, like how cool you would look after doing it, like a camera zoom in on you and everything. It looked great. You guys know what I'm talking about. But anyways, Ken's Rage 2, awesome game. Happy to have it in the collection. Rusty, thank you so much, man. You and Bentley rock.
Wow, okay, cool.
All right.
I'm going to continue on the Switch kick here, and I have another surprising release on the Switch. That is Diblob 2.
I don't know about this one, Jason. I'm judging it by its cover, man.
It looks dumb as hell. However, gosh, what did this system... Okay, this is also an older game that got re-added to the Switch because it was mostly ignored at the time. Yeah. And this is kind of like Splatoon. You know how Splatoon is a third-person game where you're spilling paint and trying to cover like certain types of area, like, this is more of like a single-player adventure version of Splatoon. So basically what you do is you play this blobby thing that can absorb different colors, and then you end up kind of like staining the world around you. So you'll stain walls and buildings and stuff like that. And in doing so, you free up little minions, and you kind of traverse this kind of open world. changing colors, painting it, and it sounds dumb, but it's actually really fun. And so this was definitely, I think I covered this on a hidden gem, I want to say for the Wii or something like that.
Really?
Yeah, and it's cool that it's getting a new lease of life on the Switch.
It's good that a lot of games that it did not reach their goal or what like the audience they wanted to reach, they release it for the Switch and it gets like what you know. That's kind of good. I'm happy to hear that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I mean, and this is definitely one of those series. I think you can make the argument that like, well, you know, Splatoon is doing so well. I mean, why not? You know, why not try this out there?
Right.
So, anyways, the only thing I would say is that the frame rate on the Switch, especially in handheld mode, is a little bit I was running into some frame rate problems, but overall the game seems pretty solid.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So next here, another Soul Calibur game.
What?
Yeah. Soul Calibur 6, which is the newest game released.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, Soul Calibur 6. Oh my god, they did a really good job on this game. The only thing I was upset about is that, you know, like with newer games, it comes with like no manual, just bare bones.
I know.
It's like,
I know.
Oh, man, put something in there.
At least put like a reversal cover.
Yeah,
I mean,
something. Yeah, exactly. That would have been nice. But this pretty much makes up for what happened with Soul Calibur 5. Soul Calibur 5's development was kind of rushed because of the tsunami in Japan that happened. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, they kind
of
know that. It was missing characters that were originally supposed to be in the game, and they kind of pushed it out. So this totally makes up for it. It's kind of like a soft reboot of the series, but still somewhat. It's still canon to the storyline.
Okay, so they kind of redeemed it basically.
Yeah, and guess who's in the game as a guest star?
Oh, I know this. Geralt from The Witcher.
That's right. And I got to fight him for the first time in story mode.
Yeah.
And his scene is pretty badass.
Yeah.
Man, how he comes at you. I was like, man, this dude's crazy. Because I was fighting him in the match. And, you know, I was winning. I was like, oh, he's nothing. And he just came back on me. He started doing all that Witcher stuff. And I was like, It was insane, dude. It was like a real cinematic battle. So I felt like it was really intense.
Yeah.
I pulled it off barely, but, you know, it was a good fight. So, Soul Calibur 6, they fixed a lot of issues, guys. Definitely something you want to check out. It's just Soul Calibur games. They've never really let you down. They've always been really good games. So,
all right, next up for me is a rhythm game for the PSP, and that is Guitar Man Lives.
Ah, I remember that series.
So actually, this is a game that I already had in my collection, but it bugged me because I didn't have a case for it. And it was one of those games where I always really kind of was looking out at expos to try to find a complete copy of it to sort of complete it, because it was bugging me. You know how it it bugs you. I finally just broke down and just bought it on eBay. I'm like, fine, I'll just buy it. But if you're not familiar with the series, this is really a cool one. It's basically like this kid who gets the there's a story there. It's a rhythm game. Who cares? But basically, like, you know, he's got it's a guitar rhythm game, but it basically has you using the thumbstick to kind of like control pitch a little bit. So it's actually, there's a lot going on in this game because you have to hit the buttons at the right time. You have to control your pitch and all this sort of stuff. There's boss battles. It's pretty epic, but it's also got a great soundtrack. Unfortunately, I probably won't be able to play it in this video because it's music, so it might get a copyright claim.
The original game came out on the PS2, and it was kind of limited in a way. It was definitely an uncommon game. I'm glad they re-released it for the PSP.
Yeah,
I think because they were able to add certain extra features to it, if I'm not mistaken. But
they might. That's a good point. I don't know. Huh.
Yeah, I'm glad you finally got that, man.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a guitar game.
When I see that game, it kind of reminds me of my game that I love, rhythm game, which is Parappa the Rapper.
Oh, right. Yeah.
You ever played that before?
Similar style.
Yeah, exactly. Parappa the Rapper. Whew. You know, chop, kick, punch, all that stuff.
Oh, I know.
Great.
Yeah, so this is a nice little, you know, addition to my PSP collection.
PSP, golly.
I know.
I haven't got a new PSP game in a long time. So the next game here is a game I've been looking for PlayStation for quite a while. It was so hard to find it online, and I got lucky and found it about 4 or 5 months ago. This is Legend for the PlayStation. This is a remake for the Super Nintendo Legend, like remade, the beat 'em up game.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was like a Legend on Super Nintendo was like a Golden Axe type beat 'em up game.
Oh, okay.
And they remade it, and this is Legend on PlayStation. Now this only came out in PAL territories, so it was
you and your imports.
I know, you got to look outside the box. That's where you find those games that I tell everybody. And this game does not let me down. It's a lot of fun, a good beat. It's a well done beat 'em up. Not the best type of beat 'em up for that 3D generation they were trying, but they put a lot of effort into it. It's in 3D.
Oh, okay.
And you see on the back there, the characters are pretty big and everything, but it's co-op, and it's a lot more fun than the Super Nintendo copy of it.
Wow. Okay, that looks totally metal right there.
Yeah, I know,
that
right?
Logo.
I know, right? But totally cool game. If you like beat 'em ups, definitely one you want to have in your collection. I'm happy I finally knocked it out. The PlayStation imports are looking pretty solid.
All right, cool. Next up for me, two more. So this was also in that box that William gave me. And just random games I didn't know that I didn't have, and I didn't know if I would want.
I'll just say, because Punisher is on point, dude.
This is a great game. Punisher from the original Xbox. I know, this is like Max Payne, kinda, you know, where you're just a badass going room from room and just destroying dudes.
The Punisher in this game, he really punishes people. Like, if you'll get to a certain. I remember a scene in that game where there was a scene where you wanted information from a guy and you could like torture him a little bit or just go ahead and try to kill him. Yeah. Well, there's a tank full of piranhas. And he dips the guy's head in there a little bit, and then he pulls it out. You let him know, and then you can just put it. This crazy. There's a lot of stuff like that in this game. So pretty insane. Yeah. So I didn't have this in my collection. He sent it to me, and again, I was capturing the footage and going, "Wow, this is like way better than you expect. This is awesome." And then here's another game he included in there is Predator: Concrete Jungle. Another game which was like way better than you would expect. This is like a third-person game where you play the Predator, and you know it's funny because I was playing this and I was like, wow, he's really just like a superhero. I mean, he has all these abilities, you know, to jump and climb and you know, different visors and stuff like that. He has the ability to obviously turn invisible, and and what's really interesting about this is that there's a story here that I guess kind of takes place after the second movie. And so it takes place way in the future. It's really cool. I was actually very surprised with it. So again, it was awesome. And the second movie is pretty good, guys. I actually like the second.
I haven't seen it so long, I don't remember.
It's pretty cool.
That's one in LA where it's like summer.
Yeah. I think everybody wanted Arnold Schwarzenegger back, and
that's right.
Where's he at? Danny Glover.
Yeah, that's right.
It was a weird like change of.
Yeah. I remember when it first came out. It wasn't the first movie, but that's okay. It was a good sequel.
Yeah, like, definitely.
It stood on its own. Yep. And this game stands on its own.
There you go.
See how I did that?
Yep, that's what you did there. All right. Oops. Oh, so this game actually got from a Kelsey store, Pink Gorilla. This is Urban Yeti for the Game Boy Advance. And,
Urban Yeti.
Now, here's the funny thing about this game. So, this game was only sold as a, what do you call those infomercials that are on TV? Yeah. That's the only way you could buy this game. It wasn't sold in stores, so that's why it's kind of like, it's not many of these games out there. I mean, I don't know how many people were really onto that stuff where they would buy games online like that.
It's amazing it walks into her store.
I know, right? So I saw that and immediately I said, yeah, I got to have it. So got that from her. I want to thank her for hooking that up.
Did you see the back of this? Real motion captured Yeti. Somehow.
But my buddy Drew would always talk about this game, and he's telling me I have to get it and everything. And you know, I don't know. I played a little bit of it, you know, just to kind of get familiar with it. I haven't played too much of it.
You've got to do a Let's Play on your channel of this. I want to watch that.
Yeah, I think I will, man.
Yeah. I mean, definitely. even if it's bad, I don't care.
The cover on that, the way he's looking back at you is like, ugh, man, what the
that
heck,
all looks bad. I'm you know, but that's what's so great about it.
But you know, another Game Boy Advance game though.
Oh, I know, it's amazing.
Really nice.
Okay. Next up for me is a game I used to have in my collection. I traded it away years ago, like an idiot. So I've always kind of, you know how you always regret getting rid of a game. Yeah. But I got it back, and that is a game that probably very few of you heard of. It's called Lords of Conquest by Electronic Arts.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Their original logo there. Yep. Yes. So this is a game for the Commodore 64. The reason why I wanted this back, so first of all, this game looks like ass. That's okay. I admit that. However, this is a really fun risk-like strategy game. You know how you're trying to take territory and stuff like that, and you have to build like look at those graphics. They're terrible. But I'm telling you, this game is incredibly addictive because of its simplicity. That's what I like about it, is that this is a game where, especially when I was like junior high and high school, it was just complicated enough. And I often find myself going back and playing this on emulator because, again, it's just enough complication to really be enjoyable and with enough challenge. So, and what's cool about it is that it comes in one of these vinyl sleeve like releases for the Commodore 64 where they would show the developers like their rock stars right here.
Yeah, that's awesome. I like how they did all this, man.
Yeah, so you know, not a terribly expensive game, not extremely rare or anything, but you know, it's just something that I want in my collection. Yeah. I loved it as a kid, so. Yeah.
Dude, I love how you preserve all the PC games, man.
Somebody's got to, man.
That's right.
Somebody's got to. That's my job.
All right, here's a surprise game. One of my favorite anime series. Well, I would say Akira is one of them, but I forgot the creator of Akira. The creator, I forgot his name right now. Sorry for the video, but somebody in the comments will know what I'm talking about. He actually made an anime called Steam Boy. Have you heard of it?
Yes, and I've seen it.
Steam Boy is a really good movie.
I have it on PSP. PSP UMD.
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
But it didn't. I don't think it did well in the box office.
Yeah.
But what I found out about maybe 4 months ago, that there was a PS2 game of Steam Boy, which I picked up from my local game store, Smash Games, and yeah, dude, it's pretty fun, man.
Is it? Wow.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I always wanted to kind of like I wanted them to make a video game for it, and I didn't think they did have one. But when I found out, I was like, wow, I was kind of blown away with it. So, yeah, man, a Steam Boy.
Yeah,
I have Steam Boy. I have the collector's edition like DVD, which you can put stuff in. It comes with all this extra stuff. I got the UMD movie, and now I have that. So now I have all the Steam Boy collection, pretty much. It's a good movie, guys. I really enjoy Steam Boy. It's one of those animes that you want more out of it. Like, or you want like them to create a series for it, because it just had that one of those endings that you just wanted more. You just
that was my complaint with it, is I really enjoyed it up until the ending. I was like,
it just seemed exactly. So yeah, but Steam Boy on PS2, guys, it's out there if you want it.
I had no idea. All right, let's see here. Picked up a couple PS2 games that I've been missing from my collection. Gungrave Overdose.
Second game, yep.
Yeah, the second game, the sequel. So, the Gungrave series, if you're not familiar with it, it's I guess it's, I don't know if the game came first and then the anime or vice versa. But these are very Japanese action, gunplay, over the top, just silly gameplay. You guys are watching the footage right now. It's waves and waves of dudes, and you're just mowing them all down stylishly. And there's something about this series. It reminds me of Platinum Games a little bit, about how they, Bayonetta and those sort of. It's not as good as Bayonetta. Don't get me wrong, but it's very Bayonetta in style, you know. And so really over the top characters. The main dude is hilarious. He's just a badass, you know. Yeah. So this is a game I was missing from my collection. I had the first game.
You had the first one, okay?
Yeah, yeah.
You know what's funny about this game? The first one, I remember when it came out, and a lot of people were saying, "Hey, Reggie, you should pick it up." And then I almost picked it up when the second game came out, because this one was actually released as a budget title, like for a cheaper price. I think it was like $20, like when it first came out.
Oh, Mastiff, yeah, they're kind of a budget publisher.
Oh, yep, exactly. So yeah, man, I still haven't played them. I need to look in.
Yeah, them. They're very brainless.
Just fun.
But they're just fun. You drink a beer Friday night with your buddy, you kill some dudes.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
I know. Looking what I have left here.
Next game here, fighting game, and the reason I picked this up because I support SNK. This is SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, all-girl fighting game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? And this is the PS4 version of the game. So here's the thing: the PS4 version was only sold as a limited, like a collector's edition, which was like over $100. I was like, no way. They were only selling the Switch version as a standard release, which was like $50, I think. So I got this one. Actually, got lucky and found this one online. This is an official copy of the PS4 copy, and the reason I know this is a giveaway copy. That's why this.
Yeah,
this
or a review copy.
Or a review copy.
Yeah, that's true. Because they would hole punch when I was doing a lot of reviews. They would hole punch those barcodes, because that way you couldn't potentially trade them into GameStop.
Right.
GameStop still took them.
They still took them.
Yeah,
but this is a good fighting game. It's a simplistic fighting game. It's just more fun, fan service. I mean,
yeah,
I love SNK.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I really like this game. I almost got a platinum in it too. So.
Oh really?
Yeah, I'm this close to getting the platinum. It's just I got to grind a little bit more. But I had a lot of fun with this game. I feel like it's just not too serious. It's just fun. It's just something funny to get into. It's just simplistic. Anybody can have fun with it.
Nothing wrong with that.
And pretty much it turns the some of the SNK male characters into female characters in that game. So it's pretty funny. So definitely a cool game you guys should check out.
Okay. Hadn't heard of that. That's crazy. Another batch of games I'm going to go quickly that William included in that. Again, just a batch of games I didn't own in my collection. And it's so weird that he knew that, because obviously I've got a random mix of stuff here.
Every time I think of his name, I think of like William Money from that movie Unforgiven.
Oh yeah, was that the young kid?
No, William Money was the main. Clint Eastwood, William Money. He was the
Oh, man.
The bandit turned
Dude,
good.
I love that movie.
That's such a good movie. I know, right?
So he,
Sorry, William.
So he included a bunch of N64 games I didn't own, and so I'm just going to go through them really quickly here. Bust a Move 2 Arcade Edition.
Yes.
Great. I put these little stickers on the top here.
Nice.
Dark Rift. Now, this is a fighting game.
N64?
I think so. I'm trying to remember now. It's been a while since I captured the footage. F-Zero X. I didn't own it. I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't own that. Thank you so much. Quake and Quake 2, which again, I didn't own on the N64, which was really cool to get those first-person shooters, classics. And then, of course, he included Doom 64.
Nice.
And Space Invaders. Now, Space Invaders, you would think it'd be the arcade version, but it's not. It's actually like an all-new version for, I mean, at least this generation. So it's actually, it's got a little bit more going on. It's still Space Invaders, still fairly basic, but...
Okay.
Random N64 games for my collection. I know. It's like...
There you go, man.
I know. I'm not going for a complete N64 collection, but at a certain point, I probably could, you know.
I think it's one of the easier systems to collect for, because I don't think anything is too expensive, like too expensive.
Yeah,
like
that's true. And those are the only complete copies I own. So for the vast majority of it, actually, it's all loose cart. And I'm cool with that. I mean, you know, I just play my game, so I'm fine with it.
There you go.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Thank you.
All right, you're going to like the next one here.
Okay.
This is, This is Hellblade on PS4. This game finally got a physical release, so now I finally gave it my attention. People were trying to tell me to play this game before, and I was like, oh, where is it at? And they said, oh, you have to download it. I was like, no way, guys. If it gets a physical, I'll give it a go. And it finally happened. And the game was sold, I think it sold for $30, brand new. So it was definitely a game worth taking a risk on. This game is set in the Viking era. So, man.
And it deals with mental illness, if I remember right, or
mental
a
lot of
trauma
that.
or something.
I was like, man, there's something wrong with the main character. I was like, she was tripping me out with certain, like, there's certain scenes where they pan in on her face and everything. She's like, her eyes looking around like, like what's going on up there?
Yeah, so the history of this game, and you probably know this, is that it's from the makers of Heavenly Sword and Devil May Cry.
Yep. Ninja Theory.
So they're exactly, they're AAA developers, but they wanted to try to scale back the cost of making a AAA game, and in this form. So this is designed to not be a budget title. If I remember right, the interview was like, not budget, not AAA, but somewhere in the middle. Okay. Make a really high quality game that is basically a kind of a lost part of the gaming industry right now. You know what I mean? And so this has. Now I haven't played it, but I've seen screenshots like that where it's all motion captured. It's beautiful. The environments, in a slightly more than budget game.
Yeah, definitely. I'm happy with it so far. I mean, I haven't got too far in it, but the battle system was fun. Yeah, the way it starts out really pulls you in it, because it's creepy the way it starts. You start off in a raft, and you're just kind of like this foggy area, just kind of like and there's like dead bodies in the water. You're like, what the heck's going on here? But very interesting game. So
won a ton of awards. So I'm looking forward to playing this. Actually, I think I have a copy coming.
Do you? Okay, cool, man. You'll definitely like it, man.
Okay,
it looks great on a 4K television too.
I bet.
There you go.
Next up for me, I'm gonna cover two games here that I got a little bit on a PS2 kick, trying to fill in some games that I feel like were missing from my collection. I talked about this previously. I love the SOCOM games.
That's actually my favorite one in the series.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Combined
well, it's funny because I never played this before. I think I got to the third game and stopped, and so I didn't realize, or I'd forgotten that this was a PS2 release.
I think this one adds finally introduced co-op mode, I believe, where you team up with people. I could be wrong. I can't. Yep, co-op mode, online co-op mode. So
yeah, I love the SOCOM games, and part of me is kind of missing the franchise a little bit. So I bought this because, and this is like cheap. I mean, these games most people don't even care about. So I got that one, and I also got this one too. I didn't really know anything about it.
Siphon
Filter, the Omega Strain. I love the Siphon Filter games on the PSP. I played and beat those. I thought they were great. Bought this one kind of again a blind buy, and hasn't aged quite that well. It's a little funky, a little the controls and the gameplay mechanics. So I captured the footage for this video, and I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to it. I'd love to know down in the comments if you guys think I should go back to it, because again, I love the PSP versions. But
what I liked about the original Siphon Filter games, and that's the 3 before this one, it was the original voice actor for Gabe Logan.
Oh,
they changed his voice actor in this game. It's not the husky voice that he had in the first one.
Okay.
So I was like, that's what kind of killed the series for me a little bit. Even though I still like the rest of the games. I mean,
I hate when they do that.
But they changed the voice actor just like they're taking away the character in a way.
Yeah.
So, So, but anyways, the PSP ones and the remasters of the PSP ones on the PS2 are really good games.
They are really good. That's what I was hoping for. So, do you think this came out before the PSP versions, or?
Yeah, that one did.
Oh, it did. Oh, well, that explains a lot. Then, because
definitely.
This feels like an older game.
No, it was it was almost like not a launch title for PS2, but when PS2 had their online service finally kick in, that was one of the first games that kind of like utilized it.
Really?
So, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, good to know. Okay.
Let's see here. Hey, I found a Switch title.
Oh.
This is Sin Mora EX.
That's the game I was referring to in our previous pickups video about slowing down time.
Oh, okay. Here it is, guys.
That's right.
Answer. So, this was gifted to me by my buddy Tim for Christmas. He hooked this up, and Tim, thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you, bro. He had picked this game up, and he wanted to give it to me, but he just I think he couldn't find an extra copy, and then he finally did. So, if you play Shin Mora, this is pretty much a shoot 'em up game where you can slow down time.
Yeah.
And it's really just a really good looking game.
Oh my god, full 3D backgrounds. I mean, you guys are going to watch the footage here, but it's gorgeous.
Definitely. Really good looking game. Perfect for the Switch, actually. A good shoot 'em up to have on the Switch. I mean, I'm just happy they re-released this game because it actually came out on the previous generation as a DLC, as a digital game only. So now it's got its physical format on the Switch, and definitely something you should check out. But I know that it's not really sold everywhere. I think I've seen them on Amazon, and then Walmart might have carried these games. So if you're looking for the game, those places might be the best, like your best chance to look for it, unless you want to go on eBay.
Yeah, fantastic game.
Yeah, definitely, man.
All right, next up for me is Mappy for the Atari 2600.
That's one of my favorites, man. Mappy.
Yeah, so this is based, I believe it's an arcade game. I don't know if I ever actually played in the arcade. And it's cool because, again, the Atari is so primitive as far as a console, and this is an example of modern day developers creating games that were way more complex than what the Atari was ever designed to do.
Wait, this is a newer version of Mappy?
I believe so. I mean, yeah, so it says copyright 2018.
Oh, wow, what?
Yeah.
Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Brand new.
That's cool, man.
That's what I love, is that these new developers, and it's sold through AtariAge.com, which is where a lot of these come from. But yeah, I mean, it's a brand new box. It's got a manual. It's beautiful.
They're keeping the Atari alive.
Yeah, it's funny though, because I was capturing the footage for this video. I suck at this game.
Well, it's crazy. So what you have to do in this game, you have to collect all the stolen goods before the cats get you. And they're on your pretty much. So you got to keep moving, and the
only way you can really, as far as I know, that you can sort of survive or avoid being hit is if you're bouncing in the air. So you'll notice the cats and you are kind of bouncing all the time, and that's when you're really safe. But I'm like I said, I never played in the arcades, but I wanted to pick this version up because, again, it was so cool to have a new Atari game.
Yeah, and the sequel actually came out on a Nintendo. It's called Mappy Land. That was actually the first one I actually played.
Oh, really? So, okay.
Yeah, these are really fun games, guys. Definitely check them out.
Yeah. Atari.
All right, so I'm going to knock out two in this next turn here. This is Blaster Master Enemy Below. For the Game Boy Color. This is a sequel to Blaster Master 2 and the first game on the Nintendo.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. It's actually a really good game, actually. I know Blaster Master 2 was kind of like for everybody, but this game more than makes up for it, and it kind of expands on Jason's story. Jason is the main character's name in the storyline.
I was like, huh? What?
I know, right? So it's just a really uncommon game. I'm really getting into the Blaster Master series right now. My favorite in the series is actually Blasting Again on PlayStation 1. That's another video to talk about that, but definitely a good series to get into, guys. And the next game here, my buddy Evan, I found out about this because of him. This is Aliens, Thanos Encounter. And this is a top-down horror game of dealing with you trying to survive from the aliens.
Really?
So,
and what system is this for?
Game Boy Color. This one's for Color. Okay. And this one is made by Crawfish. They're actually a company that made really good Game Boy games. They're the ones that ported Street Fighter Alpha 3 to the Game Boy Advance, which is like like, wow, to do that for that. It was pretty amazing. So, very good company. You guys have heard of Crawfish. You guys know what I'm talking about. But definitely another uncommon Game Boy Color game that I didn't have. So I'm happy to have that. So, Evan, good looking out.
So you're collecting pretty much Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance.
Game Boy, if it's regular Game Boy stuff, it has to impress me to collect it. You know, I don't want to just have anything because I want to be able to. I want to play the stuff that I have. But Color and Game Boy Advance usually I'm more open to because those games are better developed, I would say. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Next up for me, this is a donation from my buddy Bill through Patreon, who treats John Hancock and I so well.
Oh.
And he's an old school game collector who likes to share his collection, I guess. But he sent me these because these were missing from my collection. These are the Atari 2600 Supercharger cassette-based games for the Atari. So this requires that little adapter that you would plug in a cassette player to.
Oh, this is the one I think I handed John.
Yeah.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about these is that they are becoming extremely collectible. And that's the reason why they're in these. They came in these plastic cases because they are not cheap. They are not common in any way. And he's just an amazing guy who supports my channel and is just such a cool dude. What most Atari collectors like about this is that because they're on cassette and because they're using an adapter, these games are way more complex than they would normally be.
Right.
Because it's adding basically RAM and some extra processing power.
Right.
It's just a weird part of Atari 2600 collecting.
Right.
And, you know, I love that, you know, and I never owned this as a kid, but it's kind of fun to discover that sort of part of the Atari, so it's cool. So again, Bill, you treat me extremely well. I'm not worthy. Thank you very much, dude. You're awesome. I know. I'm almost afraid to. These cassettes, I'm like, hopefully they would hold up. You never know.
Oh my God. Okay, I think.
How many do you have left?
I have 3 left.
Okay, I got 3 as well.
Well, 4. I guess I'll throw an extra one in this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go. I'm going to try to pronounce this properly. This is another strictly limited release.
Oh boy.
Here we go.
This is going to be hilarious.
This is the game right here. I'm going to try to pronounce it here.
I'll show it on the screen.
Sayonara Umihara Kawasa? I think I got it.
Yeah,
I think I did it, guys. Who knows, man? Who knows? I think I got it right. The effort was enough, I think.
Yep. A for effort.
So, this is the game where the girl has a little fishing pole, and it's kind of like Bionic Commando.
Yes.
This is it right here.
What system is
this? This is for the Vita, actually.
What? That's actually a really fun game.
Yeah.
That system didn't originally come out on the PlayStation 1 or something?
I think I've seen it on Super Nintendo. I saw it on Super Famicom. Okay. So they had it on that one. And this looks really cool. Look at that. The drawing of the character. A little note in here.
Wait, so this is the Vita version?
This is the Vita version. I guess this is like a new version of a remaster of an old version, pretty much. I don't know if it's a sequel or not, but yeah, it comes with these stickers and card
postcard.
And I think this is an art book. Yep, art book. It says on there. It comes with a soundtrack, so you could bump this in your car.
Right. Oh yeah, that's cool.
It even comes with a replica of the original Super Famicom game.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
So look at. I mean, look at that. That's a collector's edition, guys. You throwing in not some DLC code or some weird stuff like that. Yeah, they really went all out, man. So I'm impressed.
All right, that's pretty cool. I want that.
Strictly limited games, man. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's how they do it.
You know what's funny, because I included footage of that gameplay. I forget what I was doing, some sort of import video. Anyways, in one of my endings of my video, and people always ask, like, what game is that? You know?
Really?
Oh yeah. Because it's so unique, and especially when you play it, you realize that it is a really fun special game. Huh, okay. Next up for me is well, I'm just gonna mention this right here, but this is a Sony Walkman. For you youngins, this is what we used to carry around as a portable music player.
Yeah.
And the reason why I want to mention this is because I mentioned the Star Supercharger. I always want to call Star Path. I forget what it's called. The Supercharger. But in order for that thing to work, you do have to have a cassette player, right? So that's what this is. But the real reason why I have this is because I am kind of collecting portable cassette players like this, especially from Sony, because these are becoming extremely collectible.
Really?
Yeah, specifically the really thin metal ones. You can drop $200, $300 plus
Really?
on those really like late 80s, early 90s Sony Walkmans. And so the reason why I'm holding this one is because my buddy Drunken Master Paul loves to go around to all the thrift stores, and he's looking for me. And so because every once in a while you'll get lucky, you'll get one, you know, maybe for $4. I think that's what he paid for this one, but I don't know, it's just a little bit nostalgic because I used to walk around with a cassette player like this, you know. This was what we did, and this is definitely a really nice one. So I just thought I'd show that for you.
I can't believe that's like looked at like ancient now, like a Walkman, like, you know.
It's so big. I look at this thing, and this one actually is a sport model, so it actually has a little bit of the rubber in here, so it's waterproof or water resistant, I should say. Yeah, so it's a part of my childhood.
There you go, man. Awesome. All right, so oh wow. Oh. Wow. I had two more. Oh, I'm gonna show these in one turn. So
Okay.
2 more Switch games. Yay! This is Good Old Golf Story. I got this from Best Buy. This game is actually pretty fun.
I've heard that.
I went back. I went to the quick play mode so I could like get the golf down. It's actually really fun. And then they have the story mode, which is actually compelling and fun too.
I've
like
heard that, yeah.
the dialogue. So definitely try this one out. Here is Salt and Sanctuary. This one, it starts out well. You create your own character, and it's kind of like a dark Demon Souls if it was a 2D game. I would say
I've heard
that's what
yeah.
most people say. And I totally get it because I got killed pretty hardcore. But in the game, it's somewhat violent how people get killed. So definitely a solid game though. I like it. I just got to play it a little bit more. So happy to have these in the collection. More Switch titles.
Okay.
Switch hype train here.
Well, speaking of Switch, the fine gentleman at GameStop told me that this had come in and was used. And they're like, hey, you might want to pick this thing up. And I was like, okay. So this is Owlboy, the limited edition here. And now what's hilarious about, have you seen this before?
Yeah, you want to hear from us? I actually got the PS4 version.
Oh, I was going to say, is this your copy? You traded in. So what's hilarious about this is that obviously this thing's freaking massive, right? But it's kind of overly big. Like it's like it's compensating for something. Yeah,
right. They try to.
But here's the game. You have the manual, and then you have this notebook here. And what's cool about it is that in the corner it has the animated characters.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's kind of or the
you
character.
You think anybody like when stuff comes with it, they'll actually like notes in there, like use that stuff?
I know.
I wonder if anybody actually does that.
It's like at the end or the back of manuals that have like 2 pages of notes.
Yeah, like who's gonna
I
write
guess
it?
You can write your scores. I don't know. Stickers, soundtrack. Looks like a numbered edition here, and then you have, I forget what this is actually. Oh, okay, some like coins and looks like some pendants. Yeah. Yeah,
the creator was actually on Media Glitch, and he was talking about the game, how it took him like it took him like 10 years to make this game.
Yeah, if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, I mean it was like one dude.
Yeah, one dude.
You know, I mean, which again for this game, this is not a small game. This is actually a fully fledged.
Yeah,
it's 2D, you know, really, Metroidvania style game. I mean,
it's really well done,
yeah.
And I was impressed with it, man. So definitely, yeah, I'm happy you got that. I got the PS4 collection. I haven't opened mine yet though, because.
But you know what's funny though is that again, this is pretty cool, but it's so big it doesn't fit in anywhere in the collection. Like, I mean, some of these collector's editions or limited editions are awesome, but you're just like I need to have a section with just those somewhere, you know. Again,
they could have made it a little bit smaller.
Though, a little bit smaller, but still, it's pretty awesome, pretty epic.
All right, so hopefully I can grab this properly.
And I just have one more, so.
Okay. Oh, sorry. She's like, what the heck? So I'm a big fan of the Star Ocean series.
Oh yeah.
This is Star Ocean Collector's Edition, the Japanese version.
Wow.
I've always been a big into like astronomy and space travel and everything like that. So when I found out about the Star Ocean games, I was like blown away because it's always been a fantasy of mine to travel through space and all that stuff. And my buddy Kyle hooked me up with this because he knew I liked Star Ocean, and I had no idea he was getting this for me. And this is the ultimate collector's box. It comes with soundtracks. It comes with like everything that Star Ocean 5 had to offer. It comes in this, and I was just like blown away with it. You know. You know, it's hard to choose what your favorite RPGs are because it could always change all the time and everything. But Star Ocean is definitely up there, guys. I mean, just recently I played the second game to celebrate the anniversary of it, and I had a great time. I thought I was burnt out on RPGs, and I went back and played the old ones I loved, and just like playing them like I was like young again. Just like, oh my god, this is amazing. So Kyle, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you, man. Star Ocean, guys. Whew.
Okay, that's cool. So I just have one more. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, and I just have one more after this.
Okay.
So yeah, you're good.
So this was sent to me by, well, I'll just show you. Completely by surprise. So it's basically GOG 10 years of GOG.com. So they sent me this, and completely unexpected. I think it was probably because, you know, media or whatever, press or whatever. And also I promoted them because I love their service. And if you don't know, GOG.com, their whole thing is that they sell games that are DRM free. So everything that they sell there, new, old, is basically you own it, you can back it up. There's no sort of protection.
Nice.
Which is pretty great. As great as that is, although I really like the fact that they take old games and they repackage them for new operating systems, and they provide a lot of extra stuff. So great service. I really love it. And honestly, I haven't looked in here, so I don't know what this is.
Okay.
So they basically sent a box to celebrate their 10 years. So we're going to take a look here. It looks like a t-shirt. Probably not going to fit me, but that's a pretty cool looking t-shirt.
Let me show them one time. Oh, there you go. 10 years.
We can put it on Susie. There we go. Another t-shirt. Let's see here. This one looks like it's a little bit bigger. Oh, this says DRM free, I think. Or no. Oh, I know what this says. I've seen them wear this shirt. I've seen them wear this actually at expos. Make sure it doesn't. Yeah. There we go.
They're right about that crap, because DRM is pretty much where you have to be online during playing the game and everything.
Yeah, where you own it, but you know
you have to be online where you can access. Yeah, it's crazy.
Oh, can't show you that. So, oh, cool, a game code.
Oh, nice.
That's awesome.
There you go.
A little bit of okay. This is about their history. Talking about some of their successes. They're part of a CD Projekt Red, which is the makers of The Witcher. Okay. So, and then what else have they got here? Oh, okay, interesting. Like a code. I can't show you that, but all right. Oh, a nice little letter. So, okay, I won't bore you guys too much more here. Stickers. Pins, and more pins, and then yeah. So, anyways, I had no idea what this was, but they basically are one of my favorite sites. I own a ton of games on there that I've bought over the years. Basically, if it's an old PC game and they have it on there, they often sell them for like a couple bucks.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really cheap. It's a great service. So, thank you guys very much. Awesome. Here's to another 10 years.
Definitely. And last item. I guess I'd call this the Holy Grail item. Okay. I have no idea what that is. Something. Wow. Just yeah. I feel like I'm having another moment here. This is the test system. Oh. PS3.
That's funny. I just thought it was another PS3. I'm like, what?
I know, right? Okay. So this PS3 is pretty amazing. What this does is you can upscale PS3 games all to 1080p. You can force it to do that with this system.
PS3 games.
PS3 games, you can force them to play in 1080p. Most PS3 games play 720p, as we know. This can make them 1080p, which is pretty amazing. It also is backwards compatible with PS1 and PS2 games. But here's the thing with that: you can play the imports as well. So you can play PAL PS1 games, Japanese PS1 games. The same goes with PS2.
I was wondering how you were playing some of these. Okay,
and you could play them in good resolution with this system. This system could do a lot. I'm still figuring it out. My buddy Kyle found this for me. Kyle, man, if you're watching, man, dude, man, he picked up one and he got me one, and I was like, man, dude, this thing is just like, this is like. Dude, seriously.
So that is a test version of the original. So it probably do you know, does that one there have the full PS2 on the inside, do you think?
I'm pretty sure it does.
It must.
Yeah, I think it does. But they're built differently. At least this one I have here, it doesn't play Blu-rays. So it doesn't have like a Blu-ray player. It just plays
so it's
games.
just for games.
Just for games and everything.
Which is fine.
I think they're built better than the original PS3 models because these rarely break down from what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? I've seen one that's kind of broke down, and I don't know why that happened, but this seems like very well made.
I believe it. Yeah.
I mean, well, you gotta think how much the company pays for a development.
I was just going to
system,
say that this was probably not cheap for the game developer at the time.
Exactly.
I mean, if the retail version was what, 500, 600 bucks, something like that, this is probably 1,000 more.
Yeah,
maybe,
exactly.
You know.
So, yeah, this thing
does it? Can I hold it? Does it look pretty much the same?
Looks exactly the same.
Okay.
Has all the ports on the end.
Yeah.
The other one you can lift it up, have all those US. Yeah.
Oh, I know. That's funny how they had all this.
It's something else.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. I want one.
and here's the thing, folks, about these systems. You could find them on eBay, and I mean, they don't really go for that much. I mean, you could probably get it for like $200. I mean, don't let anybody rip you off. Don't force yourself to want it immediately if the price is not right. But usually, if you want to get one of these, you want to pay probably around at least at the least 200, maybe slightly a little bit more. But they don't go for that much, so don't be paying like $400, $500, $600 for them because they're not worth that. But just want to kind of give everybody that advice out there.
Well, the fact that it can upscale the video, it can run all the regions. Wow,
it's perfect. You know, you can play everything on there, and in better resolution. It's just the way to do it, and. This is what I was hoping with the first model first PS3 3. I was hoping it would play imports backwards compatible. So this is like a dream system for me.
Wow. Yeah. No doubt, man.
I know, right? So, good looking out, brother.
That's pretty cool. All right, another pickups video in the can.
Yep, out of the way. So, guys, let us know what you think of some of the items in this video. And all that stuff. And,
yeah, if there's a game that you saw tonight that you're like, hey, play that one first. Let us know.
Thanks for watching.
All right.